Mark, very good to talk to you. Tell us about your letter and what it is that you want.
Well, what we wanted, unfortunately, I have to use the past tense because the government didn't listen to us. What we wanted was that all books be allowed to be bought and sold during stage 4 of the lockdown, and not just educational books. And our reason for this is firstly, of course, that we believe all books are educational, but secondly, because the publishing industry, even before the pandemic, was so vulnerable that we really worry, those of us who signed this letter, and there were 3,000 of us, ranging from Nobel Prize winner J.M. Coetzee and Zakes and Da, Klinam Kloppe, every significant writer, I believe, in this country, down to hundreds of passionate readers. What we believe is that, and what we signed on to, is that if hot food can be delivered safely to consumers, there's no reason why books can't be delivered too, and that this is essential for the growing of the mind and the growing of the mind of the country.
And particularly in this time, sorry, Mark, as you were saying, it's a tough industry anyway, and when a lot of people have got nothing to do at home, I mean, what a wonderful way to expand your brain and escape. It can only be healthy for you.
Yeah, it can only be healthy, and in fact, I mean, one of the things we say in the letter is that reading is probably the only art form that you can practice in social isolation. We can't go to the theater anymore. We can't go to movies. We can't go to sports events. But we can be alone at home with a book. And for this reason, we believe that it was short-sighted to leave books off.
Has there been some sort of response? I mean, can you understand, or has that reasoning been justified?
There's been no response whatsoever. Look, they're deluged. It's disappointing to me that 2,000 submissions, Minister Dlamini Zuma told us last night, 2,000 submissions on keeping the smoking ban intact were listened to, and yet our 3,000 signatures asking for books to be circulated again was not listened to. We sent the letter through the official channels, but also directly to key people in the presidency, in Minister Patel's office, in Minister Dlamini Zuma's office, and Minister Mthethwa's office. We got acknowledgements of receipt of the letter, but no response.
All right, so what impact do you think this is going to have on authors and publishers, and also how does it sit alongside e-books?
Well, the ebooks thing is really important because I think anybody who has data at the moment and access to the internet will agree that there's an extraordinary way that this pandemic has sort of accelerated our use of technology. I mean, I have a book coming out in July, and what's fascinating is how I can no longer do a book tour, but I'm going to do all these virtual events. And what that means is that many, many more people are going to be able to come to my events than if I was sitting in a bookshop or a library doing the event. So it's really exciting. And we all acknowledge that ebooks are even more so the future. But I would like to make 2 points about that. The first is that even ebooks need publishers, right? Unless one goes with the idea that everyone can self-publish and citizen journalism, and you're going to get what you need reading Facebook posts and Twitter posts. You need a publisher as a quality controller, as a selector, as a shaper, just like you need the New York Times to sift media. And if we lose our publishing industry, there won't be publishers around even to produce ebooks. That's the first thing to say. The second thing to say is that in South Africa, one of the things that this pandemic has done has really accentuated the inequality of our country. And one of the key spaces of this inequality is the digital divide. And we have to accept that for a very, very long time, many South Africans, if not most South Africans, are not going to have access to technological advances such as ebooks. And for this reason, more than any other, actually, the publishing industry needs to stay alive. So in the short term, our ask would definitely benefit middle-class people who have some extra money to buy books, no question about that. So if you weigh it up against essential services like food, we see that we're lower down the list of priorities. But in the long term, if we lose the publishing industry now, it's really never going to come back.
All right, Mark, let's leave it on those words. And I certainly hope you get what you want. I think it's important. I agree.